Hey, what's up, everyone? I am excited to share self-mastery, one of my favorite principles of the whole thing because it's what brings the whole thing together. And mastery is mastering yourself, um, mastering connecting with others, and mastering your environment. And so, as you're going through the fighter's formula, I suggest go through it over and over and over again. This is why. You're going to be a different person every time you go through your process, just like anything. You go through a process the first time, and then the second time you get better, the third time you get better, and even the fourth time you get better than that. That's how this formula is built to work. It's something that you do again and again and again, and you get better results again and again and again. We're looking for exponential results. But I remember I have a quote from Mark Twain. And the quote says, "Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear." And that really, really resonates with me because as I've gone through my journey, my levels of fear change when I do something, but then I always have to do something else. And there's always something scary. And fear to me is the unknown. It's what do you suck at? And every time you learn something, you're not that good at it. You just aren't. And I think we start forgetting that because we get used to getting good at one or two things. And in getting good at that one or two things, we stop. And in stopping, we stop growing. We stop becoming what we were meant to become. I think what we best should do is, yes, master a couple things and then find masters in a couple of other things. And to find a master, you have to understand it. If you don't understand what to look for, you don't know if someone's good at something or bad at something. And as you go through the journey, you don't necessarily have to master the thing, you just have to know what to look for. So, as I've gone through my journey of mastery, the number one thing that I always ask myself are what are the one or two things that well, first off, my clarity, confidence, commitment. What am I going after? And then what are the one or two things that I need in place to get to that North Star? That's how I always start the question. Like, what is that? What are the one or two things that I need to get to my North Star? And when I was a fighter, I knew I needed to have a foundation of fighting. I wanted to be proficient in everything that I did, but I wanted to master my jab and I wanted to master my ability to transition into different areas of fighting, from grappling, wrestling, Muay Thai, clinching, whatever it may be. And so that's what I focused on was my jab and my ability to transition. When I left fighting and got into business, I had no idea what I needed to master because I sucked at a lot of things. I didn't know what I was supposed to get good at. And as I went through the process, I started understanding what needed to be mastered for a business to really, really work. And ultimately, the most powerful things that you can have, marketing and sales, the ability to market and the ability to sell. And so that's what I focused on mastering. Now, with those two words, some people don't even know what those really mean. They hear the words and they think they know what they mean, but they don't really know what they mean. And that was me. I didn't really know what it meant. So I want to share this with you guys. Maybe you know what it means, maybe you don't, maybe you need a refresher. But sales is the ability to effectively communicate why your product or your service is good for a specific person that you're selling it to. Who are you selling it to? And is it a good fit? And I come from a personal training background. This was before I even became a fighter. I had seen some shady salespeople. And in seeing that, I wanted nothing to do with sales. I didn't want anything to do with it. I said, if that's what selling is, I want no part of it. But as I transitioned and I started learning more about what it was, I realized, oh, sales is just a skill set, just like anything else. And I also learned as a fighter, I have never punched a person outside of a cage. outside of a professional situation and an amateur situation, because I don't use my fist for unnecessary violence. I never wanted to do that. I wanted to use my fist for competition. That's what I wanted to do it for. Now, I can protect people with my fist, but I never had to. I think when we get really proficient at something, we actually don't even have to use the thing we're proficient in, because people don't want to mess with us then. And so I started taking that to sales and saying, oh, sales is just having a skill set that can effectively articulate and communicate how you support people. Now, marketing, another very powerful skill, which I didn't know what it was. And a lot of people think marketing is just ads. You run ads to something, when that's not what it is. That's just a piece of what marketing is. Marketing is such a perfect piece for business and for fighting. And this is why marketing allows for the customer to have a brilliant experience with you. If your marketing's good, that is. Because what you're doing is presenting your stuff, your products, your services to a specific group of people who are eager, and presenting it in such a way it gets them eager to buy. It gets them excited for what it is that you have. And they should be excited because you have good stuff. If you don't have good stuff, you don't want to market it, because it's a business that will go down really, really fast. So I would definitely not recommend, if you have bad products or you have bad services, get those right first, and then you market them. But I bring up mastery because mastery is those little nuances that make the big difference. You could do all of the things, but if you're doing them all incorrectly, that's not good. So if you had a car and you put a Ferrari engine in a semi truck, or you put a semi truck engine in a Ferrari, it's not going to work very well. Mastery is knowing all of the pieces and being able to put the pieces together correctly. Kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, where you get to see the picture and you get to see it together. So now you can take the jigsaw out of the box and you can look at the box and start putting the pieces together. Well, oftentimes we don't even have the box. We don't get to see what works and what doesn't. And so it could be really frustrating. Mastery can be very frustrating. So this is what I would recommend for anyone going through their process. Ask yourself, what have you done really, really well? What have you done that is above everybody else? And I believe everybody has something. And if they don't, I would recommend you ask people who know you best, because you might have something that you don't even know that you have. Ask yourself, what have I done better than anybody else? And then ask yourself, well, how did I get to that? Who was in my process? Who supported me? Who helped me through this process? Who coached me? Who consulted me? Who mentored me? Who took me through the stages? Now, the cool thing with what I have, this is a course that I created because I wanted to make sure people had something that they could win with. And if you follow the course, you always have a chance. You always have a chance. I really condensed this and I made this as simple as possible so people could go through their process and learn the lessons along the way. With that being said, people help people. The right people help the right people, actually, is how I should put it. Because just like anything, doing it on your own, it can lead to frustration. Now, whether that's you doing it with us or doing it with somebody else, I don't care who you do it with. I just want you to get your result. I want you to win. And that's how you win, is by mastering yourself. And the way you master yourself is conquering fear. Saying, you know what? I'm not going to let this stop me from getting to where I want to go. I'm not going to let this stop me from being the person that I want to be. And there's going to be times where you get tested on it. You're going to get tested. And it's going to say, okay, we'll see how true that is. Follow those steps. Clarity, confidence, commitment. Have a game plan in place. What are you measuring? What are you tracking? Passionate action. do what you love, and have others who do other things that they love that help you move forward so you can move forward together as a team, as a unit. Have unshakable faith. Put those reps in so you're ready when that wall comes, because sometimes it does. Take extreme responsibility. Hey, every action gives you an opportunity to say, I got the right result, or an opportunity to say, I need to take a new action to get the result that I actually want. And then 6, mastery. Knowing that, oh, I have to put all of these together. I have to put that jigsaw puzzle. Let me look at the box so I can see, okay, what's missing from my pieces, and how do I put those pieces together so they fit, so that I can create the reality that I want to create. I say there's greatness in every single one of us, and discovery is a game of self-discovery. It's about taking action and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. But the other thing about action is when you take action with a team, you can move faster and you can fail faster too. And sometimes people use the word fail or learn. I don't really care what word you use. Use the word that serves you. If you feel like you have to fail forward, fail forward. If you feel you have to learn forward, do that. But do whatever you need to do to continue to progress and learn the lessons that you need to learn so you can put it all together and you and your team can proudly say, we did that. We created that. Go master your life, master your journey. And I appreciate you taking the time with me.
Yeah. Man, your mind, man, is just it really is beautiful, man. Like, I mean, the way you broke that down, I'm over here like, wow. I mean, just to kind of break it down going backwards, because I need to know about mastering myself. But
Mhm.
me, being in sales, I mean, I didn't even know this, but if you think about it, everything is sales. That's the end, right? The sales is what's gonna feed you guys' families, right? It is the most hardest skill I used to think, but I've been doing it for over 15 years now, and I've gotten really good at it. I'm one of the best, and I didn't even know I was good at it, but I look back on it now, and yeah, but it was a process, and you get better every year, right? So again, getting with someone like us, um, it's like I can show you how to sell. Because on your own, all you look at is who can sell, who is sold, and learn from that person, literally. But there's some natural abilities that will help you sell. So we kind of help you develop that. But he said it best, you guys. I've never heard someone put it so beautifully in my life. But literally, sales is everything. You know, you buy a Coke, you buy a beer, you buy popcorn. That's how Kellogg's pays their bills throughout their own workers. So in your business, that's the most important part. But sometimes people think it's the website or it's the, you know, you can start with
Yep.
just, and then the marketing part for me is how easy is it? I mean, it's all of this stuff, but the bottom line is when I talk to that person before I sell them, how prepared are they to get their credit card out? Like the better marketing you do, like you said, it's just the easier for the closer. So I come
Yep.
in there, I don't have to try that hard. Now I've done both sides of it. What makes me powerful and Clifton less powerful is that we work together. And he adds a lot of things that I don't have. I mean, I'm just quite frankly with you this point. I'm more to the system guy. But when I build your system, it
Mhm.
works because of the trial and error. I've had over 150 some sales just
Yep.
in marketing in the past 16 years. So I had to learn sales. I
Mhm.
just had to learn it because that's what I did. I didn't want to go to work for somebody else. But I didn't want to sell either. So you guys might be in that boat too. I hope not. But if you are, you're in the right place because I can get you out of that, okay? If you want to have your own business, you're gonna have to sell, but you're gonna have to master, like Clip just said, master your skills. And the fastest way, again, if I go back in time, it'd be to pay me or Cliff a long time ago. Because I had
Mhm.
a lot of bumps and bruises along the road. I did. But going back, I mean, literally speaking, that was powerful, Cliff.
Yep.
Um, all right, and back to what you said to go back to the beginning. Now, you said master of three things. What were those three things? Master of
Master,
self.
yeah, master yourself, master communication with others, and master your environment.
Wow. And then, so self environment. So self. That's powerful because I call it self help. That's the one that's kind of the easier one to me. Look at yourself, but you guys, for me it is. But hold on real quick. Some people
Mhm.
can't do that. I just thought about. Some people are so outward, or if you guys have a hard time evaluating yourself, that's not a good thing. but for me, it's easy. Cliff, what do you think? Is
Mhm.
it easy for you? And do you think people really need help looking at themselves?
It's easy for me, but with that being said, that's why I didn't realize I didn't have a skill that I had, because it's not really easy for a lot of people.
Mhm,
And so I had to learn, like, oh crap, like that's something I'm good at that I can support people in, because it is easy
mm,
for me. I make
mhm,
it easier for people because there's ways that they look at the world that keeps them from looking inward.
mhm. Yes, it's a lot of people like that, guys. The point is this. I'm pretty sure everyone here, you're gonna have one of these things you're good or bad at, right? So self might be it, it might not be it. But what Cliff does, he knows all three of them real well. Communication. So mine was communication. I had to learn
Mhm.
this skill. I got self down. You might have communication down, not self. The point is you can get everything you need here, but I'm a good communicator, but it's like when you're trying to sell something, you have to learn it's more than just communication because there's different types of communication. There's
Yeah.
intellectual communication, there's emotional communication. Cliff happens to be a heck of a communicator because he touches your emotions better than I can, right? So it's like learning all this stuff's not easy. It takes some time, but I never knew to like learn emotions like I do now,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
When I was trying to sell. So I didn't sell at a high level back in the day. I was
Yeah.
like hit or miss. So if you guys are out here trying to sell stuff and you're wondering why you're like all over the place, it could be because you haven't mastered communication. And I'm seriously know that. So how do they get better with that, Cliff? How do we help them with communication for your end? The coaching, how
Yeah.
do you
So
do it?
the thing with communication is knowing the right things to say, and sometimes what's so crazy, the craziest thing that I've learned is keep it simple and just tell people your intentions. That's it. Like I was almost taught backwards on how to talk to people, and it didn't serve me. When I was very straightforward with people, it actually serves. And most people are like, you can't just be straightforward with people. Well, you can. You just have to start with building some rapport first. If you go into something and you're showing your stance on where you're different, watch how opposed they'll be to having any kind of conversation with you. But if you build rapport and you say, hey, I notice you like this, or hey, I notice you're into this, then we have a conversation. But if you say, oh, you like corn? I hate corn. I can't stand it. Like, expect some friction and resistance.
All right. That's powerful. Yeah, and it's funny. I sold timeshares too, Cliff. And so
Mhm.
they have like they have $1 million training that we go through. So I remember like the better you communicate, they would literally like if you guys don't know what timeshares are, they have a marketing department that basically sends people to us to get free gifts, and we sell them a vacation package or timeshare. But they would make us spend at least 15, 20 minutes with the person just talking to them. And so I
Mhm.
learned in that process how to that helped me now so I can help you better, honestly, because I learned I had to this skill wasn't something that I had, right? I had to learn it, but some of you guys may already have it, right? So if you master communication, just like you have a big piece of the puzzle down. But usually what I see is people don't have all of it. They're
Yeah.
missing some component of this. If you're a good communicator, you can't look at yourself and vice versa. And then if you got both of those, maybe your environment's off, right? So, you know, I mean, the environment's important too because does that mean like your family? Go more into the environment now. That
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. So, your communication with others is going to be more like your family. So, it's
Okay.
communication with people outside of you. Your
Okay.
environment is going to be what you surround yourself with. Are you
Okay.
surrounding yourself, like, for instance, if you took a soccer player and you had them run in sneakers, well, they're
Mhm.
not going to be as effective because they need cleats. They need cleats on. If you're a business owner and you don't have a CRM, a customer relationship manager, or something of that nature, and you're trying to work with a bunch of different people, or you have the wrong CRM, it's going to be a nightmare. So it's figuring out your tools and your resources and saying, are these the right tools and are these the right resources for what it is that I'm doing. I was a personal trainer back in the day. If you put the wrong foods in your refrigerator, willpower can only take you so far. And if you're up
Yeah,
late at
yeah.
night and you got all that crap in your food in your
Right.
refrigerator, odds are you're probably going to screw it up. And maybe
Hmm.
you are
Hmm.
that. Well, here's where it gets interesting. It goes back to clarity, confidence, commitment. If you have something that's big enough, yes, you can will yourself to where you want to go. But
Hmm.
do you really want to do that when you can just have the right environment to make your life
Hmm.
easier? Like you
Right.
could walk from Arizona to California. You could essentially do that. But wouldn't you rather drive or fly? That's up to the
Exactly.
individual.
Exactly. And this really hit it home for me. Now this is, you guys should be excited right now because we just hit a home run now, right? So what we have here is with myself and you guys out here, you have your own, but so the environment I have down, that's what I mastered first, right? But I like what you said about going over and over and over again. I mastered the environment because I go over it. I went over my CRM over and over. I went through my automations over and over. I wrote emails over and over. So now I'm a master of systems and the processes in my environment. What I do to help you guys succeed is I've mastered that so well that where I do it in my sleep. And I hire people now. I have a team. I've done stuff at a high level. So I get what you're saying about the environment. I'll admit that I had to work on the communication part, but just knowing that Cliff calls me sometimes, guys, my communication still is off sometimes because if you're angry or get pissed off, sometimes that may be on social media and flop off with somebody might not post, But he's really good at communication. So I think between me and him, you have pretty much everything you could ever want with the program. Seriously, because like I said, he holds me accountable. Okay. I might get a call at 5 in the morning. Hey man, listen, brother. And he'll tell me the truth about some things. I love Cliff because he keeps it real and he cares. And I do too. So going over and over and over, that's not the fun part, Cliff,
Mhm.
sometimes. But it gets fun if you can get through it when the money starts coming. The hard part is when you're doing it over and over and over, and you're not making no money. That's
Yep.
why you hire consultants because during that over and over and over part, that's where a lot of you guys fall off at. Okay,
Yep.
I see it happen over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to hire somebody and work with consultants or coaches like McCliff and myself because we cut down that time. You're talking 15 years of sales experience, guys. I walked to the places. I mean, I've been my first three sales appointments, man. I was mad. So you
Yeah.
got somebody that can tell you, and literally, I get mad when they say no. Sometimes because I used to, not anymore. But you see the point here. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Cliff.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate
master
you.
yourself.
And I
Yeah.
I got one other thing too. So when we do talk about that over and over and over, that repetitiveness, and I ask myself the question, what am I being intentional with? It makes the repetitiveness a lot it actually makes it easy, to be honest with you. Because if I focus on where I want to go instead of what it is that I'm doing, it makes it easier. So I'll give you guys a story. Um, Back when I was a fighter, we would run these hills, and oh my goodness, these hills were a nightmare. They were the hardest hills to run. And what I would do was focus on me getting my hand raised, just thinking about me getting my hand raised after the fight. And that's all I would focus on. And in focusing on that, it would allow me to run those hills on a regular basis because these were to get your conditioning up, you have to push yourself past your limit. There's no other way around it. You push yourself past your limit and you become something more than what you were. But knowing that I was going to get my hand raised, I was going to get my hand raised is what made that repetitiveness so much easier. It just made it flow for me. And I tell people you can either fight in life or you can flow in life. You get a choice. And you can have bad, crappy days where you're getting the crap knocked out of you. And you can actually flow in those moments to say, what do I have? Because sometimes that's what I got to ask. Sometimes I got to ask myself the question, what do I have? If I say to myself, I'm getting beat up, this sucks, it's going to suck because your mind's making it suck. But if you say, okay, what do I have right now? Where can I move? Where can I go? What do I have? Where are my opportunities? Your mind starts looking for them.
Mhm. Powerful, man. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's not hard. It's not easy to stay positive. You're basically saying stay positive, in a way.
Yeah,
Again, and
yeah,
that's what you helped me do. Be
yeah.
just a master of that. But yeah,
And
I would
I
say
also do. I want to let everybody know too.
mhm,
Positivity means allowing your feelings to be what they're going to be. So if
mhm,
you're in an angry mood, if you're pissed off, if you're mad at life, get mad. Just don't stay there, because staying
mhm,
there doesn't serve you. Feel your feelings. I would never tell a person, okay, suck it up. Don't feel your feelings. Feel your feelings, but
mhm,
feel them in the most effective, conducive way. If you're
mhm.
mad at the world and you're like yelling and cussing and screaming, and it's not gonna help. Like,
Right,
go in your room somewhere and go yell in your pillow or punch a bag or do something to get
right.
some of that out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't go to jail. Stay out.
Yeah.
Stay. I
Don't
mean,
go to jail.
you literally. That's what we do. That's what we make sure we stay. We keep each other grounded, guys. That was
Yeah.
a joke for real. Okay, I'm an ex-military veteran, 16
Yeah.
years in business. So I've been around the block a bit. I've been around for a while, guys. Making a whole lot of money. Okay, so how do you? And this is we're gonna kind of end on this. Is working with you. This mastery. What's the big picture here, Cliff? Working with you, are you like how are they get better at mastery?
Well, working
Yes.
with me, I support them with the nuances. I look at their that board that they have, that jigsaw puzzle board.
Mhm,
I look at it and I ask them, how close are you to getting where you need to get? See, I'm just there to help them get there faster. That's all
mhm,
I'm there for. They got
right,
all the answers, and I have to pull out and discover where they want to go, what they want to do, what they want to become, and I support them in getting there.
mhm, and what I can say right now without a shadow of a doubt that he's helped me get far in my life already. I mean, I can't believe how far I've come mentally, overcoming challenges in my family and things like that. I mean, he's helped me, and so I could only imagine if we both, Cliff and myself, work with you. I mean, he's amazing. This me being my veteran self telling you the truth, right? But together, I've mastered certain things too that you're going to get two people. If we lock in on you, I can guarantee you're going to see a big change in your life, right? I mean, systems. I mean, somebody that's been, you got military, you got UFC, you got a lot of education in me, you got a lot of stuff between us. And so we actually take you guys by the hand and that willpower. It's just all the things that takes to make it to the levels that we're at. It wasn't easy getting here, okay? And Cliff is a blessed guy to be able to go UFC and make it to that and be on national television. And that guy right there is going to be looking at your board, pointing you in the right direction. So I ask that you continue to put me in the right direction, Mr. Starks. And I
Yes,
appreciate you,
sir.
sir. For real.
Appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you for taking this on. You went through the whole process. Really, really congratulate yourself and keep stepping in your truth. Keep creating the life that you want to create.